What is the response if we're trying to make a difference with our bag usage? What's the best way to go about it?
Be the example and say no, Justin. But like, seriously, I think it's just like, the scientists are saying that you have a certain amount of years to correct this, otherwise the earth is going to be irreparable and the human race is going to die. Why are people not listening to this? But I think it's a huge thing is it needs to start with like the higher ups. Like, this is why, well, let's hope Biden actually, goes into office, into the White House, and does all these green initiatives, like changing everything to renewable energy and stopping coal. But that's where it needs to start.
Yeah, I mean, he is a centrist. I think what he will do is he'll put back in place the Obama restrictions that were placed on a lot of corporations and companies that are in the U.S. Those will be put back in place. As far as things like the Green New Deal, that's not going to happen. Plain and simple. It's just not, because he won't get the votes, A. B, we to get to those certain points, it is going to take a certain time, and there needs to be more of a plan on how to do it. Currently, that plan doesn't exist within the Green New Deal. So until they start to really lay this out and get the right people involved, because right now it's just people yelling, Green New Deal, Green New Deal, and the plan to make it happen systematically and in a way that's not going to put everybody out of work isn't there yet. So they need to figure that out first. And hopefully Biden gets the right people in office that'll do it. But unfortunately, right now, he's kind of just hiring the same people that were there during Obama's administration, and there's not a lot of new minds in there. So it'll.
He's got time. He's got time. He's got a lot of seats to fill. There's a lot of cabinet seats to fill. Just give him time.
I still think that as far as the U.S. with regards to them leading the way with environmental policy, I still think that's going to be very much led by the private sector with the wind and solar companies that are actually doing great jobs in California and Texas, and then people like Elon Musk. I think it's going to spearhead more than the government, to be honest. I think the regulations that will be put back in place are important. And obviously, Biden as a leader saying positive things about helping the environment will help as far as the global climate of environmental policy, so to speak. But as far as actual action, it'll be the same as what Obama did.
Let's just start with the president saying that climate issues
that
are
helps.
real. Like,
it helps
just
because
like
it puts pressure on
we need to step back in the right direction before we can start really heading down that path, because we're not facing in the right. And this is just in terms of America specifically. We're not facing in the right direction environmentally. Like, we need to turn around first. And then once we've turned around, I agree, Justin, that not all of the policies are in place yet. But once we've turned around, hopefully we can start moving.
How do you feel things? I mean, you're probably more of an expert on a lot of this stuff than we are. Like, how do you feel things are going with regards to global environmental policies and technology that's helping the world to transition to renewable resources, and kind of, I think, how that's going to, like, pragmatically be put in place?
I mean, I think it's 100% slow, but there is, and I think it's really with the younger generation, they're all coming up with these incredible inventions just to, like, even the other day I saw this video that implemented it in Amsterdam. They have these machines that release bubbles from the bottom of the river. And then by releasing those bubbles, it captures floating rubbish from the bottom and from the top, just as it is, so that they can collect the rubbish before it goes into the oceans. And then with those bubbles, fish and all sea creatures can actually
get through.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like a natural filtration system, more natural air filtration, maybe, or bubble. Let's call it bubble filtration.
Bubble filtration, but even
I love it.
Right? But like, I think it's like there are these like simple yet incredible technologies out there that aren't getting the coverage that they should be getting. And once big companies like, who's the Amazon guy? Jeff Bezos?
Yeah.
He just put 10 million into a new green initiative.
He better. He's got enough of it. He's got enough of my money. He better put it somewhere.
I know. But like, I think it just, people need to start investing in the right sort of companies and the right initiatives. Maybe I think the government does need to like do things like move towards renewable energy. I think they also need to tax people who use single-use plastic or buy single-use plastic. Invest in the environmentally friendly ones that obviously are going to drive the cost down a little bit once the demand is there. But we've learned anything this year, like public noise is really being heard now and is really making movements and waves. So that I think will just keep continuing, especially when it comes to environment. So it is going to turn around soon. I do have faith.
Let's talk about single-use plastic and let's talk about bags, because that's something like we're talking about these policies, and other than voting for the people that we think can guide these policies the best, there's not a lot more that we can actually do physically ourselves, right? But single-use plastic bags is literally something that every person in the entire world can change their habits with. And you know, here in California, you're supposed to bring your own bags, right? But it's not always followed. Like and you're supposed to charge for bags, but sometimes I'm at the grocery store and like guys are like, oh, you want plastic bags? I'm like, oh yeah, how much do they? He's like, I just take a bunch, and he hands me like a stack of them, and I'm like, isn't this defeating the whole purpose?
Yeah.
But like, what should we do? Like, just for people listening out there, what is the response if we're trying to make a difference with our bag usage? What's the best way to go about it?
Be the example and say no, Justin. But like seriously, I think it's just like bring your bag. Bring your reusable bag. This is why I created Peco Bag, because I wanted something that's convenient, that can fit into the size of your pocket, that you don't have to worry about, or that's not going to disrupt your day. It can hold up to 10 kilograms. And even by using it for 1 year, you can replace over 125 single-use plastic bags. Make the commitment to being like, I'm not going to accept any plastic bags. I'm not going to accept even coffee cups, Justin.
Thank you so much for watching Are We Podcasting Yet? If you enjoyed this content in any way, please do feel free to like and subscribe. If you absolutely hated this content in any way, maybe you want to hate watch or hate comment or hate like, and also like and subscribe.